right, let's spin the wheel into the middle portion of the 9 to noon radio show. The wheel would be that of dealer's choice.
Yeah.
The dealer is the producer for 9 to noon, Eric Nordquist, at Mad Producer 1 via the tweet machine. Follow him if you are so inclined. We can spin the wheel of talkers tied to talkbacks, and on said wheel you have myriad topics. Myriad topics. The wheel stops, and what did it fall on?
Cousins takes a snap. Green Bay rushes 4. Cousins passes. Thielen! He caught it! Is he in? Touchdown! What an amazing pass by Kirk Cousins! Threading the needle. Thielen closes on it. 22-yard touchdown, and we're a 2-point conversion from tying the game.
Ooh, you got to go back in time a little bit, PA. That was from September of 2018. Kirk Cousins threading the needle to Adam Thielen. You heard that highlight there.
Front right of the end zone, one of the best passes I've ever seen a Vikings quarterback throw.
It was gorgeous. I think he went for 400+, and that may have been in the tie. That may have been in the Daniel Carlson tie game.
Yeah.
In, sadly, a bit of a star-crossed 2018 season post-miracle the winter before. I'm going to start here. Free iHeartRadio app. You can just hit that microphone. You're listening to us on the fan. Maybe we're even a preset, and we love you and appreciate you for it. But this is where you get an opportunity to chime in this morning, and we will do this topic by topic, topics, throughout this fresh, uncomfortable, and kind of annoying offseason.
You wanted to say abyss. It's not abyss-like.
It's not an abyss.
No, but it's kind of a swamp.
Yeah.
I mean, where we're stuck a little bit. It's hard to get out. But there is hope at the end of the equation because we see something hanging from a tree, and if we can just grab onto it, we can climb out of this swamp.
Yeah, and we'll get there. It's just, but even listening to Brian O'Neill's audio during Vikes Bites, noting that this one didn't end as abruptly maybe as some other seasons. That doesn't mean I didn't wake up on Monday morning going, this is dumb. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That this week we're gonna have Cinny, and today's the day for that. We're gonna have Cinny in studio breaking down a different sort of border battle as the Bears and the Packers get at least one extra game, and we are left watching from our couches. So.
I understand that, but border battle's tied to a sponsor. So we're obligated to do it on a weekly basis. Actually, we're not.
No.
Yeah, but I mean, we have IU football. We got the Wolves, and this is a cool bleep game. No matter if you're in a shoe size contest with Ethel from next door, or like Nordo brought up yesterday, Bears fans have gotten under the skin to a certain extent of the producer of 9 to noon. With the doom scrolling bit. And as I'll say at 11 o'clock, I'm glad Nordo has some doom scrolling to him because it helps 9 to noon greatly with things like this. And something's gotten under the skin of Mad Producer with Bears fans, so it has some talkability to it.
Yes, it does. And we will hit that at 11. But you heard that highlight from Kirk Cousins, and you chatted with Florio about this a bit last segment. This is from Florio. Here is part of PFT, we. Florio says his contract modification, as in Kirk Cousins, was part of a quid pro quo aimed at ensuring his release early in the free agency period. It will happen with a post-June 1 designation, splitting the $35 million in dead cap money over 2 years. The movement of the bulk of Cousins' 2026 salary to 2027 gives the team a lower cap number to carry until the release officially hits the financial books June 2nd. The $67.9 million guarantee, that vests on March 13th.
Wow. Ensuring
that the team will release him between the start of the league year on March 11th and close of business on March 12th. So they got together and they said, look, the bid ain't working. And we're
for those which I've heard quid pro quo, and I've probably used it, but I didn't exactly know what it meant. And I bet you I'm not alone with those listening right now. Quid pro quo means something given or received for something else. That's pretty much it. Nothing inherently illegal. in giving or receiving something for something else, but that's quid pro quo. Who knew?
They made a deal, effectively.
They made a deal. Perfect.
Kirk doesn't want to be there anymore because he sees what the road ahead looks like. Penix certainly would probably still be the A topic for them. Teams like, my goodness, we signed you to this preposterous deal, and we want to eat as little of that money as possible. So if we do this, we can do it before that additional 67 vests. And here's my question via the TalkBack free iHeartRadio app. Hit that microphone and give us up to your best 30 seconds. What if Kirk, because of what's happening here, you can sign any team in the league can sign Kirk for whatever they want. You don't have to eat $35 million in cap space. You can deal with him. This is very similar to what the Broncos did with Russell Wilson, where they effectively paid him $35 million, whatever it was, to play for the Steelers. Do you remember some of the things he did for your team?
Cousins from under center goes back to pass. Straight drop. Passing right. Jefferson, yes, on the run. 40-30. Angles left to the 20. And he is gone. 71-yard touchdown by this dynamic rookie, Justin Jefferson. His first in the National Football League. And it's 23-12 Vikings.
I just played that to appeal to the emotions of Vikings fans who wanted to see more of that in 2025 by their favorite receiver. Here's the deal. Kirk's 37 years old. He is not a forever option. Kirk played mostly well down the stretch here of 2025 for the Falcons as he puts more room between him and that Achilles injury in 2023. Kirk knows this offense operated, schemed, and deployed by Kevin O'Connell. You should be able, as I mentioned, to pay him a very, very reasonable deal. You will not pay Kirk $20 million to come back to Minnesota. You may pay him $5. You may pay him $7. Maybe he's open to what the Steelers did with Russ. They paid him like $2, and he was starting games at one point for the Steelers in Pittsburgh. He is weird. JJ is weird. Can you picture a scenario, PA, where both of them are in Kirk's conversion van in the Egan parking lot, and both of them have that neurotransmitting device on their heads checking their brain waves before they go in to get things rolling in the quarterback room?
I'm not even sure a 22-year-old knows what a briefcase is. I mean, Kirk carries a briefcase.
He does carry a briefcase.
It's not a backpack. It's not a backpack. It's not like a satchel or a side bag. It's a freaking briefcase that has like the spinning codes on it, or you got to move it to certain numbers to get it open.
Do you think he's ever seen a conversion van? It might look like a spaceship to JJ McCarthy.
Well, with Cousins, you're like, let's not forget who Kirk Cousins is or was. Played that Thielen highlight, played the Jefferson highlight. No doubt. I mean, he's given the Minnesota Vikings and fans over the course of time some really good memories.
This is 3rd and 15 with Kirk out of the shotgun, 3 receivers left. Kirk threw an interception. He threw it to the left side, picked off Minkah Fitzpatrick, and he's gone. The rookie from Alabama, 2010 touchdown. It's a 49-yard touchdown return by Minkah Fitzpatrick, his first National Football League touchdown.
How'd you have to do that?
I didn't. It just, something happened to the system.
God, didn't he throw an awful one to, was it Joe Schobert? Does that sound familiar?
Cleveland, Buffalo?
Yeah, I don't recall. There was the one, the 2 he threw. Remember when Jalen Reagor stopped short on the comeback game against the Colts?
Yeah, that's, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the game. But I think there were 3 his first year, but he got a lot better after that.
Yeah.
In 2019, him and Stefanski were terrific together. Very good together.
Very good.
Last time we
oh gosh,
won a playoff game. It's 2019.
How about the throw to Thielen in overtime?
Throw to Thielen in overtime. Unbelievable.
Didn't he pick on Patrick Robinson, who had a 50-yard pick six a couple years prior?
And the thing about Kirk is he used to hold on to the ball way too long.
Kirk out of the shotgun, facing a 4-man rush, looking over the center of the field, and he's sacked. Back at the 30-yard line, Kirk Cousins was sacked, and he was sacked in tandem. It was Butler and Flowers. Trey Flowers part of the sack into the game, 3.5 sacks. That's an 8-yard loss for Cousins.
What the heck you doing here, man? You're trying to woo Chains to maybe come here and compete.
Well, now I'm starting to second guess it based on the highlights you're playing. Simply enough, Talkbacks, free iHeartRadio app.
Yeah.
What if they brought Kirk back? The idea of elevating the level, elevating the floor of the quarterback room, you're going to bring in, and you on your own, those listening, go look at the names of the 2026 free agent quarterbacks. Go look at them.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet. I meant to do that yesterday. Are you going to hit us with some names?
Well, there's going to be, I don't have the names in front of me at the moment. My point is you're going to look at those names and you're going to be underwhelmed.
Yeah, I have a name that I think everybody's going to hate, and I actually kind of like. Well, and no, it's not Zach Wilson.
Well, and we can talk to him on Friday. It sounds like we may have a Paul Charchian appearance on Friday.
Yes, sir.
Remember how much he hated the Sam Darnold name,
right? When he was
brought to Minnesota.
We got a chance here.
And Charch is in an RV in like Pueblo, Colorado at like 2 a.m. just absolutely rage posting on X about the situation and how destitute it would be. And the team goes out and wins 4 games. So I'm not necessarily going to turn down any name given what I've seen.
Yep.
But the idea of who's going to come in and know the offense better than Kirk. Now, there are things that we can't project. This isn't part of it, but is Kirk okay with the idea that he would be coming in under the pretense of really helping to continue to develop JJ? Does the 37-year-old still believe that he can actually be QB1 for a franchise and win a bunch of games? Mm-hmm. Ding, ding, ding. I think there's part of that to it. But after a 2025, is it so tenuous in Minnesota that conversations with incoming QBs is not, well, it'll be nice for you to have the opportunity to sit behind J.J. McCarthy and play? Does the conversation shift to, we need to put the person in the spot who's going to give us the best chance to win? And does then the 37-year-old quarterback come back to comfy confines and offense that he knows at a high level with some of the weapons that he would get to play with and say, yeah, I can go win a battle. That ain't no thing. Conversion van and all. We'll pack out of Alpharetta, Georgia, and we'll head on back up here to Eagan, and we'll have some fun. So, Talkbacks,
I like that.
How frustrated would you be as a fan of this team? You want this team to get better in 2026. And they said, hey, we're going to pay Kirk $2 million, and we'll let the Falcons pay him the rest, and we're going to put Kirk back in this spot. Would you be mad? Would you be glad? Where's your head at on that? And that's the talkback talker of the day. I mean, PA, you got me looking at the Google machine here. I don't know if I even want to look at some of the free agents that are coming this way at this position, but it's not going to be anybody that is going to immediately inspire confidence.
Yep.
When you're thinking about how this team gets better. Now, Kirk Cousins brings equity. Does he bring confidence associated and attached with that? And that's what I'm curious where the listeners are at, because, at one point it was, why couldn't we figure out how to keep Kirk Cousins? In the same way, I mean, just look at this. Daniel Jones right off the bat, off the Achilles. I mean, he's not even going to be ready to play week 1, most likely.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson. What do you think about that? Marcus Mariota, Zach Wilson, Tyrod Taylor. Hey, Flacco's still around. So, see? That's what Kenny Pickett. Jimmy G was a name that's been bandied about, and Mac Jones would be potentially available for trade. McCorkle.
His real name's McCorkle.
So I just, but I think that this will heat up. Whether it comes to fruition, I mean, I'm on the fence as to whether it's even a legitimate, real thing outside of the connection to the Vikings that we already have with Cousins. But curious where Rubes are at. I think the quarterback room gets better if he's in that spot. But what does that mean?
I can't argue with you. And you got to think about how Cousins finished with an Atlanta team that, kind of fell apart a little bit, middle-ish of the season, lost a bunch in a row. I think they lost like 5 of 6, I'd say, from early October through like early December, something like that, maybe more. But Cousins in a game at Tampa Bay, the big old sombrero, copyright Chris Berman, he went for, at age 36-37, 373 yards.
Yeah.
3 touchdowns, 0 picks. And his yards per attempt in that game, 8.5, which is fat. Then against Arizona, he had 2 touchdowns and an interception, and they won. Then against the LA Rams, a touchdown, 0 picks, and they beat the Rams close to the playoffs. Final game of the season, a touchdown and a pick, $180 in a dub. So he goes 7 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in his final 4 games, and they're all victories. I mean, all of that sounds good enough to eat.
3rd and goal from the 8. Cousins, shotgun, pumps, end zone, and it is batted into the air and intercepted by the LA Rams in the end zone. And it is picked off by Traven Howard, a second-year linebacker from TCU. JJ, the intended target, the ball went bounding in the air, and the Rams have turned over the Minnesota Vikings in the shadow of the goal stripe, and with a 7-0 lead.
Oh, my God. Kirko, chill.
Got those talkbacks for you next with the Vikings Talker of the Day. So dive into it. Free iHeart audio app. File a report right now.
APA, hey Nordo. So about Kirk Cousins coming back, if we remember, it's not about the money. It's about what the money represents. So how much is this guy going to ask for? He's already made hundreds of millions of dollars, but he always wants the pretty penny. Is he willing to take a pay cut for a Super Bowl? I believe he isn't. So if he isn't, I don't think we have enough money to spend elsewhere because we already tried the Kirko experiment. It did not work. How many playoff wins?
All right, now.
We did have 1 win with Kirk.
Yeah, now, correct me if I'm wrong here. But the money would be right, wouldn't it? Because Atlanta would be paying the lion's share, correct?
Yeah. I think he was kind of missing that aspect of it. So in this scenario, ladies and gentlemen,
and the money does matter to change.
It does matter. So that part's accurate, and I loved him hitting us with it's what the money represents.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh my goodness! But Falcons on the hook. Falcons are buying dinner on this one, okay? It's on the Arthur Blank Home Depot credit card.
We got the tip.
$35 million. All we got to do is pay the tip.
We got the tip.
And the tip, let's call it $2 million. Let's call it $4 million.
Yeah.
And play around with those numbers. The point is, the money here for this 2026 would be very much in line with what you'd be paying another quarterback to come in and be in that spot. So.
Now, when Carson Wentz arrived and he did his first press conference, I'm going to be paraphrasing here, but whether you believe it or not, and we don't like to preach, get into a microphone and lie to everybody, but nevertheless, it's a reality within pro sports. Wentz basically laid it out. Now, I'm here to make this kid better. I'm here to back him up. I'm here as an insurance plan.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here. Happy to get a chance. But Carson had several offers in the offseason to go places, but he kind of kept it in his back pocket that if I'm going to continue, I want to continue there behind that kid. So the next person at least needs to say that and kind of needs to feel that while recognizing we now have more past performances with the 22-year-old Michigan quarterback.
Yeah.
Where you can look at it now and be like, well, I'm here for this and I'm here for that, and I got some ideas here, and I want to work with this coaching staff, and I want to help this kid. This kid who plays, leaves, plays, leaves, plays, leaves, plays, leaves, plays, leaves. And is some of it flukish? Sure. And is he jaking it, so to speak, or is he wants to play. Okay, so if he leaves a game, he's in pain. He doesn't feel he can play.
What did you think of that, by the way, him leaving the game? Or you finish your thought first.
Well, I had no problem with it. But the next one, whomever it is, whether it's Wentz, whether it's Brosmer, no matter who it is, until J.J. McCarthy gets a long series of games and plays, leaves, came back fast, play. Until that happens, this backup spot here, if the cash is right, should be a coveted role. It should be a coveted spot for a quarterback looking to re-engage with whatever.
Yeah.
Because, really, I adore J.J. McCarthy, man. So this is no shot at him. It's just what we have seen. I don't really have a problem with it, simply because McCarthy he's not the type where if he's having a rough game, hand hurts, I just ain't feeling it today. And he wasn't having a rough game. He was having a good game. The pass to Ben Sims down by the 10 or 5 is like one of my newest favorite passes of the year.
He made some good throws.
Right. He made a few good throws, like the Dallas game, the Hawkinson and the Oliver. And, but he left because he left, I would believe, because he felt something's going to malfunction with this grip situation. And if it does at the wrong time, well, then that's like Miles Price at Lambeau, where you're doing everything you can to stay with a Micah Parsons project, and it's 10-6, and quarterback ain't playing great, and you got no offense again, but it's 10-6 in the third quarter. Then you got the muff, and then they make it 17-6, and you ain't catching anybody off that.
Yeah.
And Parsons was unleashed. So I think McCarthy was probably thinking about that. Like, if one thing goes kaput here, then it just might mess up the whole thing. Why do people have problems with McCarthy leaving the game?
Well, no, I've just heard kind of the idea that the difference between taking yourself out and having trainers come over and allow them to be the ones that say, this is probably not a good idea. And some people might look at that as splitting hairs, but maybe the imagery of it, the visual of it is him just, is he truly crying uncle? I don't look at him as doing that in this case.
Yeah.
The fact, frankly, I think it could be like, even in a meaningless quote in quotes border battle game.
Yeah.
You love the idea he believed that he could play, so he practiced and played.
Yeah.
But this could also lend to the idea that injury it truly was bad enough to where in other circumstances, potentially you would just hold him out. Mm-hmm. That it was him being motivated. If my grip works and I can get out there and go through reps, I'm going to play. And then he reached that point in the game. He's like, ooh, this thing is awful and I can't do it any longer. So I think, the imagery of pulling yourself out versus being pulled.
Well, if anybody questions J.J. McCarthy's toughness, then I would ask Keyshawn Nixon, cornerback for the Green Bay Packers, what he thinks of J.J. McCarthy's toughness. Now, shame on J.J. for the 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct and running his mouth. Okay, and that is an off-season talker. When the coach tells you not to gritty, don't gritty.
Right.
And when you're asked to not do certain things, don't do them.
Yeah.
That you want to follow it with, don't do them, child. He's 22 years old. But nevertheless, if anybody questions J.J. McCarthy's toughness, ask K9 guy what he thinks of Nine's toughness, because he trucked him. He trucked him so much so he knocked the bleep talking right out of 25's mouth. And Keyshawn Nixon is one of the biggest trash talkers in the National Football League, and everybody knows it. So, Keyshawn got caught off guard and barked something, and then JJ went pear-shaped, which we can do without. But what was impressive from that was the toughness in trucking a starting cornerback for a playoff team. I thought it was pretty cool.
It was cool.
He trucked on him.
To the talkback machine, bring Kirk back.
PA Nordal, what's up? Kyle from Isani. I'd be all in on bringing in Kirko for that $5-7 million you were talking about, or like a Aaron Rodgers deal to maybe quote unquote compete for the starting job. He knows the offense; he can sling it. That's if we're not getting the mythical Joe Burrow or Lamar Jackson trade. But yeah, we're not drafting a quarterback. It'd be great to have a guy in the chamber like Kirk to sling it if we need him to.
Well, two things here, and this is a gut feeling. Chains ain't coming here to not compete for the starting job.
Right.
It's like what Carson said is, I'm here for this. Chains ain't going to say that. Okay, Chains ain't going to accept that, in my opinion. Secondly, if you let them compete in the offseason and in training camp, Kirk Cousins will win.
He will win.
He will win that battle. Okay, now, is that bad that he wins that battle? I don't necessarily think so. Why? Because when the battle begins, one guy's going to be 37, the other's going to be 23, which means at age 23, 24, 25, 26, somebody hits stride when somebody retires. Now, we are 2 years through a 4-year deal with J.J. McCarthy. They'll make it 5 with the 5th-year option, but we are 2 through it. And we've only seen 10 games through 2, which is part of the reason why I'm really glad you brought this talker up because it's part of the reason we're honing in on what we're honing in on.
Yes.
When it's only, but see, that's unfair to McCarthy too, because Darnold was starting the first game of the season the entire offseason.
It was never going to change based as cool as that Raiders game was.
Correct.
Was that Tristan Jackson maybe that he found on that 45-yard TD?
Think it wasn't?
It was never going to change.
No, it was Darnold as the starter.
Yes.
And if Sam, the man who used to play on the fan, goes pear-shaped like he has before, and he kind of has this year with Seattle with all these turnovers, but they're able to overcome it with solidification from everybody else on the team. That's not to say Sam's been bad. He hasn't. But Seattle gives the ball away, I think, more than anybody in the NFL. And Sam has a lot to do with that, specifically the fumbles. But if something goes wrong with Sam, all right, well, let's go with the kid. Yeah. Here comes the kid. It's sooner than we want to do it, but we're going to do it.
Right.
But that's why that also is part of this interesting talker. Through what would be available 35 games, including the playoff game, the younger of the two has played 10 of them.
Right. And he's only finished 8 of them.
And wow. Geez. Wow. See, but it also is fair to look, all right, well, what type of improvement do you Minnesotans, you purple-clad verbal warriors, what do you guys claim is improvement? Well, with McCarthy, said it, during the game call, and if you didn't catch it, cool, but said it earlier in the week too, and if you missed that, all right. But McCarthy, up to that Packers game, in his previous 3 starts was 3-0. His completion percentage was about 66. His yards per attempt was 8.5, which is awesome. And he had 7 touchdowns against 2 picks. And he started to look the part. That's part of the conversation too. And I thought in the first half of the Green Bay game against, granted, the Baron Sorrells of the world, but you can only play what's in front of you. What do you go for, $180 and change? He was on pace. He was en route to his first 300-yard game of his career.
He was legit having a good game.
Yeah. Legit, don't at me.
Let me ask you this, and then I'll play another couple talkbacks.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned Carson Wentz's press conference, and I'm here in a support role, and I remember this as well. And I think it was actually in the field house where he was talking and I'm here to support him. I'm here he was happy to be in Minnesota, really is a large part of what I got from Carson Wentz. But he said the right things. A year later, whether it was Daniel Jones, we'd love to keep you, but just so you know, everything is full speed ahead on 9. So you're going to be here as a backup. You are here as a secondary option. Carson Wentz, you are here as a secondary option. Even go a year before. Kirk, just so you know, we love you and we'd love to have you back. We are drafting a QB in the first round of April's draft.
Right.
So where does that play in? He goes to Atlanta, and then they draft Penix. That's a bad beat. I hope the draft party went well. But now, this time around, a year later, and with those 10 games, with the 8 that he finished, the good times, bad times of it, do you think they're having the same conversation with a Kirk Cousins or anybody that they have conversations with, PA? Do they sit there and say, just so you know, potentially welcome to Minnesota, you are a backup? Or has that conversation changed? Because it is only 10 games, as we've talked about.
You tell Chains, we're giving you this and coming here, and to start, you're the backup to McCarthy. He goes elsewhere.
I agree with that. I'm just curious if you're Kevin O'Connell at this stage. You have only seen 10 games, but now you have play, don't play. Play, can't play. Play, can't play. You have
play, leave.
And play, leave. And it's 1 year, so you could say it's not yet a trend, but man, it felt trendy in 2025.
Well, no, it is a trend. With respect, because the only time we saw him in his rookie year, we never saw him again.
Correct. Yes.
And nobody knew what happened, when it happened in the game, and what? What?
How about that?
Okay, so 9 to noon's privy to know. Well, he wasn't going to start anyway at the Giants game, but what? When? Why?
Yeah.
How long? What? And
remember that week, too? We were so excited you were going to get to go see Stefanski. We got the joints, and then it was take 2 of the rookie and David Njoku with his shirt off and the whole thing, and suddenly it's, wait.
Yeah.
Knee injury?
Right.
No idea when we timestamped that thing?
You got Darnold laying down in a joint practice so Myles Garrett can have 12 sacks in a joint practice. It was unbelievable, the stuff that was happening there in Berea, Ohio.
I just wonder if it is the same mindset into 2026. And this is Kirk or anybody. You're right. You're dead on. If you tell Kirk.
No, it's a fair way to look at it, in my opinion.
Because that would lead you to the point where a Kirk comes in and you say, Kirk, here's the deal. I do want him to learn from you. I do want this kid to grow, and I do want him to be the starter. Can you go whoop his ass?
Yeah.
Can you go whoop his ass and play and win that starting job? Absolute fair shake of fair shakes.
Yeah.
That offers then the kid a chance to really reset everything.
Yeah.
If only even for a year, as you mentioned, with the clock ticking on the contract.
Yeah.
I just wonder if that conversation has changed at all moving forward, because the level of quarterbacking absolutely has to be better. What we watched was horrific at times, and then it was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And the defense kept us in all those mix-ups, save for that Thursday night at the Chargers and, of course, the Seattle debacle. So that has to be better. I wonder if the coach is changing his ways on that.
But the next layer of the conversation leads me to, yes, it aesthetically and to a certain extent visually was better, and they won games. But how much better was it when, and Florio brought this up, and we talked about it last week, the middle zone attacking concepts of the tree.
Yeah.
Who's the tree? Sean McVay. O'Connell's a limb.
Yes.
And the limbs, they follow the tree and the stump. And attacking the middle of the field with the yards after catch and the deep stuff, it gets safeties and linebackers and corners to cheat closer to the hash marks. Well, then that opens the sides, the boundaries in between the hash marks and the sidelines for single coverage. It's all a cat and mouse game. But doing things well in the middle of the field is a different brand of football than chucking something up outside of the numbers in single coverage or with Jefferson, like a 1-on-2 and believing he can do something.
Right.
Because that's where you get fooled. That's where they suck you into stupid things because they duck down and they hide. And then like thieves in the night, they jump in front of the pigskin and they take all your money. It happens in the middle of the field.
It does happen in the middle of the field.
So the kid avoided it.
Well,
I can't believe the head coach likes people avoiding the middle of the field.
Well, then that goes into another layer of molding the scheme to the player or the player to the scheme. If the coach wants the middle zone attacked, but the kid can't attack the middle zone yet,
then you find a new quarterback.
And you find success in some games in which you are doing things counter to what your belief system is and creating an offense.
Yeah.
Then that is sand finding its way out of the hourglass as well.
Yeah, you find a quarterback who can do it until the other one in whom you believe figures it out. That's the way I look at it.
Which would, in this particular case, potentially mean that the Falcons pay for the dinner.
A8.
Vikings pay for the tip.
And we stiff chains on the tip. But nevertheless, he got a good meal.
There's no chance. I don't think Kirk has ever been stiffed financially, at least not the last 15 years or so.
Can you imagine how Kirk and his constituents would have handled football at Michigan State if there had been NIL?
Oh, wow.
I mean, that Cracker Barrel endorsement, the Haynes endorsement. I mean, there wouldn't have been a pump and munch. Yeah, but
could you pick like a barbershop quartet out of like a local Lansing music shop? He's making $10,000 there.
Assuming Nick Saban was the coach, then it would have driven Saban crazy.
Gosh, who was it? Would that be Saban? Is he that far back?
No idea.
Maybe not.
But I mean, it would have driven him crazy, man.
Yes, it would have.
Dealing with chains, negotiating. Okay, now let me get this straight. We got a game Saturday. The biggest practice of the week is Tuesday, and you have a meeting with Cracker Barrel to try to squeeze them for an extra $30K. I ain't having that. All right, this is 9 to noon. Back after this.
Welcome back. Before we jump to News du Nord, I got this text message. Text message is 64686. Bradshaw and Brian, KFAN text line. Nordo, Your brother from another mother, Adam here in Fargo, first time, long time. Ultimate QB Room 2026 Vikings. Try this on for size PA. You get Joe Flacco signed to teach the art of the deep ball and humility. Phillip Rivers to teach the art of jive talking properly and throwing the underneath check down ball quicker.
Brilliant.
Kirko to teach the art of the play action and maximizing your salary while J.J. McCarthy learns it all. J.J. starts, and if injured, we got a package for whatever defense. Total salary, $18 million.
GM, jump on it.
Free agency never fails on the Quasi train. Hey. Free agency never fails on the Quasi train.
More 9 to noon enterprising ideas. Thank you, Adam, in Fargo. News to Nord is brought to you by a place in Shakopee. It's The Casino. It's not a casino. The Casino in Canterbury Park. Whether you're feeling the felt, poker, blackjack, and table games all year round, you're watching live racing in the spring. Maybe they got snowcross. I heard a commercial for a sportsman show. They have private birthday parties. They have everything you could ever imagine at Canterbury Park.
And kindness.
Absolutely, they do, which is a lost art in some respects these days. Thank you, Canterbury. CanterburyPark.com. Now, we chatted.
Snowcross is this weekend, by the way. CanterburyPark.com. Snowcross is this weekend. We've actually gotten a lot of snow of late, even though they're going to make some, but kind of seen that process take place over the last week. Snowcross is always very thrilling and very exciting. So if you want to get some tickets, CanterburyPark.com.
CanterburyPark.com. Now, we can get back to the Wolves momentarily, but this news popping yesterday, and maybe this is a surprise of seeing the back and forth over the last 16, 18 hours in terms of should have seen this coming, can't believe it happened, it's on the field, it's off the field, what is it? John Harbaugh is out as the Ravens head coach after missing the playoffs, and I believe his first season was 2008. So does that put him 16, 17-ish seasons now?
19.
Wow.
I think John Harbaugh was a 19-year bit.
And he is now out. Any opinions, any thoughts in terms of the tenure of John Harbaugh winning a Super Bowl with Burke and Flacco in 2012? It was a rookie loop missed field goal to send them into the playoffs. And whether or not that just expedited the inevitable or maybe a playoff run would have kept him around, who knows? But that was kind of shocking yesterday, maybe at least for me, that John Harbaugh was let go and is no longer the coach of the Baltimore Ravens.
There were multiple releases. All right. The team had a release.
Yeah.
And Harbaugh and his representation had a release. So now when that happens, it's even though nothing egregious or, nothing unsavory was shared in these releases, it's going to cause the sharp to look at it like, well, nobody ever really does two releases like this. I mean, usually the coach will eventually speak,
right?
Like on his own accord. But okay. So then people start diving into it. And the atopic opinion for me is after what John Harbaugh has given that organization for nearly 2 decades, even if he is fired and insubordination is not involved,
right? And
it wasn't. He's not an off-the-field risk bit. It's difficult for me to read that they asked him to leave, you're fired. Okay, now that's fine. I'm maybe being a little touchy-feely with that, but I'm even if that's the case, I phrase it differently because of all the money he made, all of the great memories that he gave you over the years. Mm-hmm. Well, then the next layer is stuff starting to come out where, yesterday, did I hear it or read it, that, he's really good friends with offensive coordinator Todd Monken. And it was kind of hey, I want to come back and I want to run it back with Todd. And I want to run it back with some of these other coaches. And whomever was well, we ain't running it back with Todd. He's well, then you ain't running it back with me. They're okay, you're out. So, and then now today, and these are uncorroborated quotes. It's the source says stuff. So take that for what it's worth. Lamar Jackson no longer wanted to play for John Harbaugh. That there were players that no longer wanted to play for John Harbaugh. Wow. Holy cow. I mean, put you in a position to win how many MVP awards?
Yeah.
One for sure.
But not to mention grinding him, put him in a spot where he's figuring out how to win games with Tyler Huntley while Lamar's on the shelf.
Thank you.
You're missing Matabuke for almost a whole season. Van Noy's a year older and not as flashy as he was a year ago.
Yep.
Wiggins is young and lightning fast at corner, but he can't defend.
Smith is sharing meals with Dexter Lawrence. Roquan got himself big, man.
He did. I was really surprised.
So it ended ugly.
It did end ugly.
I know.
And that is yet now another name, a little bit different than Stefanski. I mean, maybe Harbaugh's the type, he's like, you know what, I'm going to chill for a year. I'm going to hang out. I got a condo in the Inner Harbor. I'm going to eat crab cakes and make that Biscotti money for a year.
Yeah.
And then I'll jump back in. But he would be one of the probably immediate favorites for myriad jobs that come open.
All of them. Well, all of them except maybe 1.5. But maybe valor becomes the better part of discretion. And he's like, I don't care what Mr. Haslam pays me. I'm so offended by how this went down.
Oh, goodness.
I'm coming back into the same division. I know everything that's happening there because I played him twice a year during this Deshaun fiasco. So I got Miles, right? All right, I got Ward, right? Okay, we got these good picks. How much money we got in free agency? Okay, bet. I'm back. Come back to the division, to the Cleveland Browns.
Wow.
And beat the Ravens twice a year for about the next 5 years.
With the Browns.
I got Miles.
I mean, that's one of the bigger. I mean, if it, let's say it plays out that way.
It's a long shot.
Is that one of the more elite bleep yous?
Well, I think
I'm so bored with you guys that it had to go the way it's gone.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the shores of Lake Erie.
Thank you.
With Shedeur freaking Sanders.
And they got a new stadium on the horizon.
And I'm going to beat you.
Yeah.
With the freaking Browns.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's Shedeur for now.
That's got to change.
It's
probably.
Gabriel for now. Watson. I mean, Watson. Would I bet my money on Deshaun Watson? Absolutely not. Is he supremely gifted? Absolutely.
Is he still?
Yeah, right. That's the thing.
Did he have the spirit stolen from him?
Probably.
And I'm not trying to defend the guy given what the allegations are.
PTSD. Yeah, we.
But that's something. I mean, you can't go to the freaking grocery store without hanging that around your neck.
Hanging what?
Just the
Agree.
The allegation.
But however, I don't, I'm not, I'm quite fond of John Harbaugh. But if it's true where he's like, these guys all stay or I'm out, you can't do that either. I mean, you can, but you can't be surprised if you do it. And then they're like, well, I mean, really? We've talked about this guy for a while and he's making mistakes and things are going bad. And, come on, John, let's just find a new offensive coordinator or a new whatever. No, these are my dogs. So I'm going to roll with them. Look at all these injuries we had.
Right.
So if he did that and they didn't want to deal with it anymore, well, they have a right to do that, and I wouldn't argue with them. I think Stefanski should be favored for the Giants job. The thing with Kevin is he's interviewing there today. In fact, right now, I think. If he's the first one, all right, sometimes the first one gets a little lost in the shuffle. Yep. As the cycle goes on and they interview 5 to 10 to 15 people. I'm not sure that'll be the case with Kevin, but and I know this for a fact without oversharing. Kevin O'Connell was one of the, if not the very first interviews the Denver Broncos conducted for their vacant head coaching spot. Well, I believe they feel they overthought it and went with Nathaniel Hackett. And it was a mistake. And O'Connell went out and won all those games and, captured the imagination of Football Nation to a certain extent. But he was one of the first ones to be interviewed by Denver. And I just wonder if you're that early in the equation, do they kind of forget, what you had to share, what your preach was and things like that, because they hired Nathaniel Hackett over him.
I can't believe that.
Right. What happened?
Well, and how much is it if you mentioned guys getting lost in the shuffle? Maybe the Nathaniel Hackett's or even a Kevin O'Connell in different circumstances could get lost in the shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
How does Stefanski coming off of 6 years as a head coach get lost? Like that feels different in that regard because I think if you're bringing Stefanski in, I have so much tape.
Yeah.
So now I just need to come in and meet the guy and make sure that the tape that I have, the understanding I have, of what that debacle is in Cleveland. Now I just got to understand to meet the guy who dealt with that for 6 years.
Yeah.
And tried to win games.
Right.
Despite the various roadblocks in his way.
And now Kevin's not like this, but if we want to get a little loopy with it, if I'm Kevin, I roll into this Giants meeting this morning and I have 2 pieces of hardware. And they're like, what are those? Well, these are the 2 Coaches of the Year awards that I won. And I'd like to share with you everything that went into winning these.
Yeah.
Because it was not easy. And to some, it's a celebratory situation when you get asked to leave Cleveland. And I understand that. Nobody wants to be fired. Nobody wants to leave unfinished business where you're leaving being like, get the hell out of here. Don't let the screen door hit you on your way out. So therefore, nobody wants that either, but It happened. And I mean, how ambitious is Kevin to jump right into the mix, man? I mean, this isn't like, let's go to Turks and Caicos, honey, and bring the kids and we'll deal with school online and we're going to be there for a month so we can recalibrate. No, he's out 48 hours later. He's at the Giants facility in East Rutherford, New Jersey right now trying to win a job.
Well, how about this? I mean, we talk about Harbaugh going to Cleveland. What if Stefanski's like, all right, Jimmy, you guys bleeped around with the quarterback spot. I won these 2 awards despite all these issues. Knock, knock. Hi, Baltimore. My name's Kevin Stefanski. I'd like to get to know more about your organization.
And Stefanski is raised by a group that likes to run with a vertical passing game.
Oh,
and he has Derrick Henry.
Oh, and hey,
are you kidding me with that theory?
Let me go back in time.
And he loves the tight ends. He Shermer raised.
Hey, Jonathan Gannon.
Oh,
hey,
oh wow.
Remember our days in Minnesota together? Sorry about you getting that bad beat in with all the injuries in Arizona. How would you feel about? I mean, you got to dust off your knees, get back up on your feet again. Why don't you just come out to Baltimore and run a defense with a healthy Matabuke, with a Kyle Hamilton, etc.
Drew, Mr. Petzing, Middlebury College, formerly the offensive coordinator. Well, still, but John, the head coach, was fired in Arizona. Drew Petzing is brilliant. I mean, as an offensive coordinator, working through Jacoby Brissett and Kyler Murray and all that stuff, probably a little difficult. Also lost that running back, James Conner, for the year.
Oh, and Trey Benson and 50 other people.
Yeah, and Marvin Harrison Jr.'s got some enigma to him.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Drew, now I'm going to call the plays, but we're going to put it together a little differently here because we have Lamar and Derrick Henry, and you're so smart. I want you to coordinate a 2-man running attack nobody's ever seen, and you have 5 months to get it ready.
Oh, my goodness.
It'd be unbelievable.
And if Petzing's like, nah, I just can't do that. Hey, Andrew Janocko, quarterback's coach for Sam Darnold and, Clint Kubiak's the OC in Seattle. You're the quarterback's coach. How about adding a new job title? Now, I'm going to call the plays.
Okay.
But here's how we're going to do things, and I mean, the list goes on.
I like the idea. Janocko as quarterback's coach for Darnold, I'd be like, great job. Why all the drops? All right, cool. Good seeing you. Then I get on the phone, and I love Andrew Janocko, so I'm just kidding. I get on the phone. I call I think it's the 303 area code. Peaches, how you been? Kind of rough there without Travis Henry, Shedeur Sanders, Jimmy Horn Jr., and all those high-enders. You got to transfer, right? With Dion? Pat Shermer. Yeah, it's Kevin. How you doing?
Wow.
Vertical passing, power running, and you taught me the importance of tight ends, specifically with young quarterbacks or running quarterbacks.
My favorite team's got 7 of them.
What are you doing the next 3 years? I mean, everybody's on Andrews, but this likely guy, man.
What about the Kolars cat or whatever his name is?
There's something you can do with this, Peaches. Patrick, just give it a consideration. I mean, his Rolodex, metaphorical Rolodex of names he can call.
It ain't bad.
Honestly, it could be 20 years. Brad, Mr. Childress, you gave me my first opportunity with Philadelphia, then with the Vikings. I'd like you to come in here and be a consultant on the West Coast offense. I mean, he can pull so much from so many, as can John Harbaugh.
Yeah.
So, wow, that might be a nifty little swap.
Why don't they just do
Stefanski to Baltimore, Harbaugh to Cleveland. And it's a bloodbath in Baltimore the first time they meet each other.
Advantage Stefanski in that scenario, though, it feels like.
Yeah, you got Derrick Henry. All right. Anything else?
No, that's it. That's news to Narc.
I saw the Sultan in the hallway.
Yeah, we can't make him wait any longer.
No, he's low on the smug count right now. I think he's a little nervous. The NFL playoffs begin this weekend. We're going to put a preview on a game and some games around the corner when 9 to noon continues at FM 100.3 KFAN.